This is how you counter laning against Gun as Rem. In this post-commentary walkthrough, we go in depth explaining certain early game dynamics while playing as Rem. If you don't already know, Rem is an invading support, focused on early game pressure, rotating, and stealing. In this game, we are up against a Maginnis and Wraith. These characters have the tendency to pressure out Rem's early game troopers, especially if they buy monster rounds. I always start with little helpers skilled first to pressure the enemy team into tower, but with this dynamic, I could see you leveling up Pillow for its minus 35% fire rate at level 2. You'll notice quickly that Rem's troopers are already pushing them back into tower. That is how strong Rem's first 2 to 3 waves can be. If you are not already utilizing little helpers on troopers, then you are losing crucial value. But if the enemy team bought monster rounds first item, it would immediately counter the buff troopers, with the additional 25% damage to NPCs. As I'm pushing up with the troopers, I try to constantly switch between clearing wave and poking. You'll see me go from shooting them to shooting wave back to shooting them. This is just me min-maxing, testing their comfortability. Usually when players focus too much on wave, they get forced back into taking too much damage themselves, and vice versa. If they focus too much on players, the wave will pressure them, and Rem's buff troopers will do good damage. Finding the balance between what to focus on is fundamental. If you have ever versed a Maginnis before, you probably have felt annoyed at how oppressive her primary fire is. I could not be bothered to deal with both of their consistent attack speed. That is why I opt for Rusted Barrel first item, immediately reducing both the Wraith's and Maginnis' fire rate by 32%. In the latest patch, actives overall got a huge cooldown buff. Rusted Barrel comes back in just 16 seconds. That's insane. You will want to spam these as much as possible, and I honestly do not spam it nearly enough. Remember, while using it in tag-along, the duration is increased. You'll notice how defensively the enemy is playing so far back under tower. Maginnis is even willing to wall off wave to slow it down. Since Apollo can punish if they come close, I rely on my Pillow to do far bursts. With some good calculated pillow throws, learning the art can be so beneficial. Though I'm not perfect and there are plenty of places I could do better. 2 examples right off the bat, I am not denying their souls enough. You don't know, whenever the enemy kills a trooper, their soul will be sent flying in the air. Shoot it, and you steal a portion of their money. However, if they kill a troop via melee, it will be secured immediately. My second issue is I'm not doing box routes, which at the time I thought I'd be better off to keep them pressured under tower. But box routes would be so beneficial to scaling stronger here. If you don't know what box routes are, boxes spawn at 2 minutes, and I cover one later in this video. Still, with this amount of gun, they're scaling to clear way faster and faster the more items they buy. That is why my second item is Suppressor. Honestly, I don't see why this item isn't bought more frequently on other characters. As for Rem, it's very situationally mid-tier. It procs on little helper troopers attacks and pillow hits. Rusted Barrel, Suppressor, and level 2 Pillow hit now reduces the fire rate by 92%. Looking back, I should have bought Suppressor first item, as I would have gotten more value from the troopers not dying as fast, proccing it more often. Maginnis finally gets her turrets. If you ever see her turrets, focus them. I don't see people doing it enough. The faster it's gone, the less you have to worry about it. You could opt for monster rounds if they really become a problem, just like you would to counter Rem. Apollo leaves for a second to go get bridge buff and is interrupted by mid lane's Doorman. This is foreshadowing. Me alone will not be able to clear efficient leave with this heavy gun pressure. I back up, let their wave push forward, and wait for my Apollo. He comes back and does some decent damage before backing up himself. This is where they start being more aggressive. Seeing me on low HP and their wave pushing closer to our tower, they become comfortable and decide to push forward. But little do they know that this is where Apollo strives. Knowing from this wave we both get our ultimate, Apollo pushes forward to punish their bad positioning. Popping his ult, he hits Maginnis, and through the wall, I secure it. Thinking my Apollo is good, I turn around to clear wave until I realize he is not okay. Getting ulted by the Wraith under tower, I try to give him a last resort little helper, but he died. Turning back now, I run to clear wave as the Wraith chases me, and I give her a little slap on the hand to tell her to fuck off. Don't even ask, I have no clue why Maginnis pops ult here. As I sit here, waiting for the Maginnis ult to end, let's check on Doorman. Wow, would you look at that scaling. To be fair, Doorman had pretty strong buffs recently and is hell to lane again. Let's just keep that in the back of our mind while we focus on our lane. At some point, you've probably thought to yourself saying, these aren't really gun characters. And you would be right, they're hybrids. Maginnis turrets and ult scales with her spirit, and so does Wraith. This is why I buy Enchanter's Emblem with a 15% spirit resist and 5% cooldown reduction. I buy an extra recharge for more pillows to proc that fire rate debuff. It's still a hard stalemate, but we're able to do some damage to their tower. After realizing that we have made so little progress way too late, it's already 8 minutes. I decide now to finally do a box route with Sinners. Now it's pretty messy, but there are a ton of boxes on the rooftops. With little helpers, you can reach them without having to go far out of your way. While I'm doing the routes, this is where I'm looking at the map to gank and rotate, and there just so happens to be a silver in our jungle attacking Vicious. I stay up top because Silver's ult is pretty strong overall, until I find the moment to jump her properly. Using Rusted Barrel to nerf her fire rate, we secure the kill and I leave to continue doing my routes. Until Doorman ults the Vicious, I look around just in case the Vicious wouldn't make it out, and I really didn't think he would. I quickly use Tag Along to boost his HP when he comes out of ult. Doorman backs up, and so do I. My duo is having trouble in lane, so I rush back to help. Boosting the minions without the enemy seeing, I attack from their side. Sleeping both of them, I focus on the McGinnis since she's farthest from her tower. Apollo ults, hitting both of them, and decides to focus on the Wraith since he's closer to her. I make the McGinnis weak enough for him to finish off, and Wraith is forced back to base. I really want to get the tower here, but we cannot. Going to shop, I buy Disarming Hex. This will be a hard counter for the majority of their team. Both of us, being at full HP, we become determined to get this tower, playing hyper aggressive until the tower is destroyed. There's no point in staying afterwards, since we are now welcome to roam. My immediate first thought was to help middle lane with this damn doorman. Going through the underground box route, getting them as I rotate, I finally reach mid and solo ult him, ending his streak. This is the beginning of my one goal, to stop Doorman from scaling any farther. My team continues to chase the silver and I follow. When she pops ult, you usually want to run, but since I have Disarming Hex, she practically can't do anything right now. Going to clear Sinners, I head right back to mid since Doorman is yet again harassing my team. We have a nice 3v2 and end him quickly, once again denying his soul gain. If you are dead, you can't scale, you miss wave, you can't farm, etc. After that, I go down to do the amazing box spot under mid, following some tunnels, boxes, rotations, more Sinners, and finally defending Urn. Since we were able to deny any further scaling from the doorman and scaled efficiently ourselves, me and Apollo have gotten a pretty good lead. What was practically a scalemate turned into a slow inch forward, which ended up pushing into a snowball effect. With that being said, the early game is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any recommendations for what you want to see next, let me know. I was originally going to do a losing condition, where I lose lane and make a comeback, but I'm not gonna lie, I haven't lost an early game in forever as Rem. I don't want to interrupt the fight and end the video now, so enjoy the rest of it.